Vladof, Torg, Maliwan and Pangolin. These might sound like the origins of COVID-19, but they're actually some of the manufacturers in the Borderlands universe. Which made me think, can you beat Borderlands 2 with only Jakobs items? I chose Maya as I've never played as her before and used her abilities, and named myself Jakobee because I'm hilarious and definitely not monotone. Fortunately, when you start you're given a Jakobs sniper, so I won't be seeing any "I was expecting some red chest farming to get the first weapon" comments. The usual level 1 to 5 thing happened: Digistruckt peak and Hammerlock's DLC. I followed our faithful companion through the snowy lands until we were attacked by Knuckle Dragger, who just so happened to drop the Hornet. Reminds me of a simpler time when I wanted to smash my computer, rip out my hair, and brutally murder anyone who made, looked at, or even thought of OBS. After clearing out Liarsburg of all the fibbers who called it home, I watched Claptrap get put to sleep with the robot equivalent of propofol. Whilst waiting for the big hate shower to fist Claptrap's eye back in, I sold all the things I couldn't use. Once all the eye fisting had taken place, I did a couple quests for my third favourite Brit. Second is the King, and first is our Lord and Saviour of highest beverage, the Spiffing Brit. I then continued my journey with Claptrap. We heard about some bad pretzels and a living diamond butt plug before we ran into Big Bertha and her 2 children. I took out the family in the correct order. I killed their mother first, so the children took 1d20 more emotional damage. Fortunately, I rolled a 20, so they died relatively quickly. I used Big Bertha's remains to open the door, and it seemed like the neighbours heard all the commotion as they came running in, guns blazing. I dispatched them and made my way to Captain Flint, and in what can only be described as a pro-gamer move, I killed him and got second wind. I then sailed on Claptrap's ship to Three Horns Divide, where my favourite character, who's named after something you can ride, blocked my neutron style and wouldn't let me use his catch-a-ride station. So I stole the dead robot's wallet, flashed some cash and got some wheels, which I immediately put a cool skin on. You're probably thinking I'd put a Jakobs skin on and then use that as a loophole to deal damage with the car's turrets. I'm not that smart. I didn't think of that until the very end of the playthrough, then never used the car's turrets again. Hell, I didn't even think to put Maya's Jakobs skin on until I was making the thumbnail. Yeah, I make the thumbnail before writing the script. If you think that's wrong, feel free to explain in the comments why I'm wrong, and I'll be sure to ignore you. After I rescued Corporal Reese, I decided that now would be an amazing time to avenge his death, mainly because I wanted to open the booty chest, but Roland will never know that. I then plugged the new core in like the tech professional I am. If you don't believe me, ask everyone in my house. It seems like I'm the only one in the house that knows how to turn the router off and on again when the internet goes down. Private Jessup made me wait 25 seconds, and I started complaining after 3. Oh my god. Do it then.
Constant vigilance.
Open the door. Oh my god. To the person who said I should stream these challenges, let me ask again. Are you sure? My drunk ass wasn't prepared to wait at all. I left the mic on so I could show you that when I play these challenges, I am in no fit state and definitely not entertaining. Though I am in the middle of a heated battle with my downstairs neighbour's subwoofer. What's worse is he has the same name as me, so when people in the house chat complain about him making noise, I get all uppity until they make it clear by tagging him in it. I may be a lot of things, but I'm not loud. I got set up on a blind date with someone called the Firehawk and met them in Frostburn Canyon. Don't worry, this is all filler. I'll give you a little teaser. When I fight the warrior, I have the Rough Rider shield. Now if that doesn't whet your appetite, I don't know what will. When we met, she was so impressed by the godlike looks I possess, she fell to the floor. I didn't let her finish, reviving for a while, bringing her close and then stopping. If there's one thing ladies like, it's not getting what they want. Because her legs were still weak from just seeing me, I ran to get her some glucose tablets and water. Such a stupid bit. I saw out the corner of my eye that she had set her status from single to in a relationship, which caused all her exes to start attacking me. I channeled my inner Scott Pilgrim and took them all out. though there were a couple big X's, but she told me not to worry about them. I then checked off a couple more things off my list, considered doing the happy pig, honked my horn, met Ellie, shot some cars, one drove over the edge, I died, switched to a vehicle, got the car parts, made a new car, and then killed Badma for almost an hour, and put some points into Sweet Release, Wreck, and Elated for a boost to health regeneration, gun damage, and fire rate. I made my way through the Bloodshot Stronghold, took out Mad Mike, spent longer than I should have trying to figure out what state Roland is in. Yo, maybe he's dead. He's not even blinking, he's dead. Once in the Bloodshot Ramparts, I used my tried and true run through everything skill, killed the warden, died, then had to run halfway through the ramparts again because of course I didn't hit the fast travel station. I went to Tundra Express and accidentally woke up Mordecai whilst farming the developer chest. I got a better pistol and sniper. On my way to Tina, I was told not to make any sudden movements, but because I don't like being told what to do, I shook my camera around and bounced around her to see what would happen. I looked at some old hardware on the desk, then got the rockets back. I promise this isn't the same footage from the Hornet only run. I tried to run back into Tina's workshop to see what she does in there, but she was too smart for me. Anyway, let's skip over this stuff because it's the same as always. Rockets, explosion, run through the bots, switch to daytime, kill Wilhelm, get the core, plug it in, then try not to vomit as the screen shakes and Lilith won't take the iridium. Enter the fridge, then leave. I won't stop saying it. No one likes the fridge. It sucks. Avoid it at all costs. Get the beacon from the thresher, cheese the request, and done. Okay, now on to the good stuff. We talk to Marshall Friedman, tell him to kill a guy, and we get our first unique, the Law. Then we start the clan war to get ourselves to Triquetra, and end the war to get Maggie. You might be asking why I got the Law if I was getting the Maggie, and the answer is, I have no idea. Also, shut up. Now it's off to free Bloodwing. The fight went easier than I thought. I have to admit, I had far more fun doing this challenge than I thought I would. I can honestly say I enjoyed every part of it, except waiting for Jessup to open up the gate, and the bandit technicals later on. Goddamn cars. Next is the Slab King. We hand him the note and then smash the beacons. There is a reason I'm skipping through this stuff. It's because I farm a lot of unique Jakobs gear later, and it's going to eat into a lot of time. Plus, there's only so many ways I can explain the main story missions. The last thing we're speeding through is the man who would be Jack. I killed the body double, then I fought off wave after wave of Hyperion goons, managed to press all the buttons, get the Jack voice changer, and headed back to Sanctuary. Now it's bunker time. I grab the Bane quest for later on, grab Claptrap, and head to Thousand Cuts. We work our way up the mountain. I go down, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Honestly, I got owned here because I'm underleveled. I managed to kill the badass constructor, but it took a while. I ran around taking out all the turrets. In hindsight, I should have done the Bane before this. I then took out the bunker, very slowly. It took me 11 minutes to kill it. I would deal damage, refill my ammo, all whilst hiding under the platform for safety. Heading down to Angel, it was more of the same. I killed lots of robots, died a bunch, then Roland got shot, Lilith tried out a shot collar and banished me to the back rooms. Back to farming for Jakobs weapons. I headed to the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve to farm Son of Mothrak for the Skull Masher. The first time he fell out of the map, the second and third time he dropped nothing, so I went and bought some upgrades and got the Animal Rights quest, as I figured I could do that whilst... wow. Fucking phone. Whilst I run through here. And, as if it was pre-written to happen this way, Son of Mothrak dropped the Skull Masher. I also handed in the Animal Rights quest and got the Trespasser, but I don't think I used that once. I then headed off to do the Bane quest, so I could get the Hammerbuster. I think I killed McNally 10 times before I looked online where it said you had to finish the quest to get it to drop. So I took a slight detour to finish things, and part of that detour was to do the positive self-image quest for Ellie, because the annoying bandit technicals kept shooting and bashing into me and I was far too drunk to play nice. Once the anger was out of my system, I headed off to finish the Bane. I ran to pick up the Echo on the north side of Lynchwood. Then, while heading to the graveyard in the south, I decided to rant about how crap my dentist is. I picked up the final Echo from the gravesite, and then it was back to farming for the Hammerbuster. I farmed McNally for about 30 minutes before he dropped it. By this point, I could almost see the bottom of a litre bottle of spiced rum, and I sounded surprisingly sober. Yes! Yeah, oh my god, thank god. I then farmed McNally to level 29. Yeah, really. I did that because at level 29, I'd be a decent enough level to fight things in Hammerlock's DLC. That's right, it's time for the Rough Rider. I completed Professor Nakayama, I presume, but not before I cursed Claptrap's name for making so many savage warriors come at me. I then picked up palling around and got the Rough Rider on my second attempt. If you're keeping track, now I have the Rough Rider, Hammerbuster, Law, Maggie, Skullmasher, Trespasser, and Triquetra. I think that's pretty good. 6 out of the 11 base game guns, and the only Jakobs shield. I headed to the Iridium Blight. My plan was thwarted by Jack, so I went to get some explosives. Honestly, the rest of the run was super easy, and nothing of interest really happens until I fight the warrior, so I'll save us both some time. I blew up Boombringer and didn't look at it, killed Mortar, got all the charges, turned all the valves in the steam pumping stations, crashed into the pipe, cowered in a shed whilst killing Saturn, got the warrior's location without getting downed, which is a huge win for me, spoke to everyone in town, sold the stuff they gave me, told Claptrap to meet me at the Iridium Blight, fought the bots at the door, left Brick to fight everyone for me, and finally got to Jack. I took out all his clones, then took out Jack, then the warrior. I didn't hide behind the barrier. I know, shocking. I took him out the proper way, shooting at his chest and hearing Lilith scream about the lava every 30 seconds. I used the racks to buff my weapon damage and fire rate, and took out the warrior. And with that, I beat Borderlands 2 with only Jakobs items. Thank you to the Dragon tier members for supporting me. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Join the Discord with the link in the description. And if you have any challenges you'd like to see me do next, leave a comment. Until next time, I've been Tulo. Thanks for watching.